Well, hello everyone. This is Chrystal Lynn, Cowgirl Astrologer, and I am super, super excited because I've got my buddy Sarah with me today of Sarah Miller Astrology, and we are going to talk about something very fascinating. Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Hi, Chrystal. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for doing this video with me. I have to say you have kind of inspired me to talk more about this because you have had your own epiphany about animals and astrology, which will be what we'll be talking about today. And, when people show an interest, then you kind of think, wow, there's so much to this that can be utilized. So thank you for talking about animals with me today. And I've got a friend here. This is Einstein. Can you see that he's a little ham? He likes the video. Hi there. So tell me.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm really excited.
Well, you're a lot of fun to have on these hangouts, and so I appreciate it as well. So this,
thank you.
This subject today is a little bit different. I just want to say to my audience out there and to those of you out watching that are interested in astrology that even if you think, oh, I don't really like animals or anything like that, this is still a fascinating study. It's another way to use astrology, another way to use this as a tool. And with my work with animals, it's always about learning how to communicate better, which ultimately helps me communicate better with humans, with our own species. But the animals teach us a lot about communication. And if we listen, we can learn a lot. So tell me a little bit about your animals. You've got 2 cats.
Yes, actually, this one right here, this is my baby. This is Bert, Macklin FBI, long. He's just a little guy. He's 8 months old, and he's just more fun than a barrel of monkeys. He's always super happy and playful. He's not moody. He goes in between sleeping, being lovey, and playing. And then Misha's kind of hiding right now. She's a little shy, but my husband got her for me for our anniversary because he knows I'm a cat lover. And she's strange. She's definitely a unique cat. She's very standoffish, very shy. But she really picks up on my moods, and she knows when I'm really sad or upset. And she was actually the first realization that I was pregnant because she would not leave me alone. And that's very unlike her. So she's really sweet.
Wow. Wow. Well, that is a really awesome awareness that you had, because a lot of people don't realize that animals really can communicate on such a higher intuitive level than even we can as humans. One of the reasons I got into astrology, starting to look at my animal charts, is because I have worked with animals professionally, worked with horses, and worked with people, and started realizing that even though I had an intuitive ability to see what was going on, say problems that we're having, communicating, once I was able to look at both of the charts, it really confirmed what I was feeling. It gave me a little bit more understanding. So being able to use astrology, basically, if you know your animal's birthdays. Now, not everybody does, so then there's other ways to learn to communicate with them and become aware of things. But you have both of your cats' birthdays. And yes, and I've got your chart also here in front of me. So I'm going to be using you as an example of what an animal chart reading is. People actually come to me that have difficulty with their horses or their animals, and this is what I do. It's just not as popular in the mainstream. But in the animal world, people are really seeking out more and more ways to communicate with their animals. So that is a really cool thing. So I want to spread the good news about this. So let's talk about Misha here a minute. I'm just going to pull her chart up. Now, a lot of people... Okay, has she come out yet?
She's just kind of staring at the string. I don't think she understands why my laugh.
Well, one thing about Misha that I'll talk about today is that Misha has Sun, Mercury, Venus, and Mars in Pisces. And these animals that were born in, there was a group of them born in 2010. They're off and on throughout the years, but there's very specific timing and times when all the planets line up in a conjunction. That does not always happen. It's become more and more common the last few years because of the way that the planets have been doing that every month. But these animals that are born in these very high placements, especially Pisces, they are actually healers. In the service dog world, they are service dogs. Your cat would actually be considered a service cat, a cat that's able to help and feel things. That's why she's shyer in the background. Okay, you see Bert jumping out there, but Misha right now is feeling, she's hearing my voice, she's feeling your energy. She's, you know, are you a little tense, trying to get ready for one of these? She's picking up on the whole vibe, as you know.
Yes.
And the fact that she, you know, was able to tell you there's something going on with you. And she was very, very communicative to you for that. So a lot of people don't listen and they'll be like, just get out of here. What's wrong with you? You know, and these animals are talking to us like never before.
Yes.
The other amazing thing about this kitty that I believe that she is a cat that's, you know, I really believe in, just like soulmates, I believe in soul animals. Animals that come into our life for a reason, and they help us through a time in our life. And we don't always know how long that'll be. Sometimes it lasts a long time. But this is definitely a very strong soul connection because she has the moon in Scorpio, as you do. So now we have even a deeper connection. Have you noticed anything about that? Because we talked about it about a couple months ago when we talked about doing this video. Have you noticed anything since we talked about that?
Oh, yeah. It was really the strangest thing because she's a very aloof cat. She always has to be in the same room as I am, but from a distance, she's always watching me. But from the moment I like looked at her chart, I felt like I really understood her. And ever since then, her and I have had a much closer relationship. Like, she's a lot more affectionate towards me. She's a lot more inclined to, you know, climb up my leg, and she always paws for my face.
Wow.
And it's weird. It's weird. I think she understands that I understand her.
And don't you think that that's, I mean, when we look at the nature of a Scorpio, that if you could say anything about it, because you know, with the moon in Scorpio, it's like, you know, please just understand me without words.
Yes.
Without having me to explain myself.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's really, really powerful. Now, interestingly enough, one of the things that I see, and I'm just talking about different animal concepts in my line of work and then using astrology. So some things may apply to people, some things may not. But I have noticed with all, I have not met one yet, all of my friends who have Scorpio placements in their chart usually love or have cats. And I think it's a very common thing because for a Scorpio, they really want to have a certain amount of control around them. And cats can be aloof. They read the energy. They're not usually, you know, too pushy. Sometimes dogs can be too much, you know, they're out of control. It's harder to control them. But a cat understands that energy because they're so psychic. And so, yeah, that's just for you Scorpios out there. If you don't have a cat, you should get a cat.
Yes, come adopt one from the Humane Society.
Yes, yes, yes. Now, like I said before, the Pisces energy, one thing about that when I see that in animals is they are able, especially in the service industry, they are able to read something that happens before it happens. just, you know, we know that the Pisces picks up on vibrations, emotional vibrations. They can also pick up on the chemistry in somebody's body changing. So the Pisces animals that have Pisces in their chart kind of depends on placement. When I do a reading, obviously, I look at a lot of things. So what we're talking about today is kind of general, but I just see this in my research that I've been doing, that they're able to read seizures before they happen. So if a person has epilepsy, a strong Pisces cat or dog could be very helpful to them. Obviously, some things do require more training if you want them to be more specific in what they do. But they go off a feel, and what? They go off a feel, and they can also pick up for people who have diabetes, who are getting ready to maybe go into a diabetic coma when their blood sugar is going down quickly. You know, obviously sensing that you were pregnant. So again, these are animals that you really have to listen to. They can pick up on earthquakes before they happen. They can pick up on somebody coming to the door. They can pick up on somebody calling on the phone. They'll start jumping around on the phone, you know, near the phone or up by the front door. And then 20 minutes later, somebody will show up. So these are all, you know, signs to look at in your animals. If you do look at their chart, and if they do have any Pisces in their chart, you may see some of these things being expressed. So I'm excited to see, you know, how she responds to the baby and just being around that. I think she'll be very protective of that.
Yes.
So, yeah. Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions about any of her characteristics that?
How she gets really moody sometimes, like if I accidentally like step on her tail, or if I don't say hi to her first thing as soon as I walk in the door, and she has that Scorpio moon grudge holding thing going on. How would I go about like breaking free from that? Because she'll stay mad at me for days.
Yeah, that is actually common. I had a little dog, a little Karen Terrier that had Mars in Scorpio, and he would hide under the bed for 2 days if he was offended in any way. You know, I think it is being aware of that and kind of being aware of your actions. You know what? You look like you're getting ready to get in some trouble back there. Hold on a second. Come up here with me. Come on up here with me. You're going to get into trouble back there. You know, I think, you know how it is with a Scorpio, you know, you kind of have to schmooze back up to them very subtly. You can't be pushy, and they're going to come out when they're going to come out, but you can quietly continue to offer, you know, come on out, you know, I'm sorry. Tell her you're sorry. I didn't mean to, because she, you know, she wants to be first. She's emotional. She needs that emotional reaction from you. So,
Gotcha.
although they don't want it to be too like crazy emotional, but she's very emotional. So she gets her feelings hurt very easy, I would definitely say.
Yeah, she definitely does.
You know, it's just being aware. It's being aware that she is more sensitive. You know, and then you know how it is that Scorpio energy, they're going to come back out. She will come back out, but I think you have to kind of, you know, coax her back out a little bit. She's not going to be as easily forgiving.
Yeah.
Now, when I look at Bart, let me see where I put his chart at. Hopefully it's still up here. Bart's a Sagittarius. Or is he a Libra? Hold on. Where did he go? I'm sorry. Hold on a minute.
Okay.
I'm being mauled by a donkey. Showing my animal behavior stuff really well here. Thanks, Einstein. Well, the funny thing about Einstein, let me just say, because he's mad that I didn't tell more about him. Come on up here. He is a Pisces rising, a sun in Pisces, and a moon in Virgo. So,
oh wow.
Yeah. And I actually was waiting for him, and I didn't know when he'd be born. I had no idea because she didn't know exactly either. You're waiting. And he was born on Albert Einstein's birthday. And I'm working on teaching him how to be a service donkey. With the Pisces energy, he could go into hospitals. Your kitty could actually be an hospital kitty, go into hospitals and be very healing to patients. In this day and age, animals are being used everywhere. And even though they might appear shy in other situations, when they're actually in that situation, making people feel better, they know it. And, it's a powerful thing. It's a really, really powerful thing. Now with Bart, he's a Libra. So he's going to be all about the energy, all about the people in the room, all about what's going on. Hey, let's all be together in the room. Misha will be off in the corner watching what's going on and being like completely annoyed by Bart. Moon is Sagittarius, and he's absolutely, when you see Sagittarius in your dog or cat's chart, and it's real common for that because a lot of animals are born in December because of the cycles that different animals go through. Sometimes these are animals that you have to be careful of, that sneak out, that get out. If you want to have a domestic animal, not have them outdoors, you've got to be careful because they will go stir crazy. They will want to get out and explore. Have you ever had him try to get out or disappear or?
He's tried a couple times. My husband is diligent with making sure that, they're not near the door when we leave, because he loves to just try. He loves to be in any new adventure he possibly can. He has to be in the center of anything we're doing.
Yes. I think it's really interesting because when I look at your chart, we talked about it, you have the moon in Scorpio, but you also have Mars in Sagittarius. And, that is a very strong connection to this kitty because, you've got an understanding of that adventure, and he's going to bring out the adventurous spirit in you. She's there to help bring out the more quiet, psychic, intuitive part of you. She's going to be there, she's the kitty you're going to cry on or, cry on. He is your fun kitty. He's bringing out the joyful side of you. I don't believe when we really are living in divine timing. I believe that animals come into our life for very specific reasons to help bring those things out in us. And now that we can actually look at an astrological chart, even for a pet, even if you don't know the time they were born, we're just looking at personality profiles just to get an idea on how to work with animals. Because with Bart, you can be stronger, you can be fiery, you can accidentally step on his tail and he'll jump up and think it's funny and everybody will be fine. But
exactly.
I have people all the time that, are struggling with their pets, and being able to look at their chart is, really an amazing thing. Also, when I look at your chart, I think it's very interesting because, actually there was one more thing I was going to say about Bart. Bart has Mercury in Scorpio. That was the other thing. I thought that was really cool. So although Bart is playful, he's all about the party, he's all about the adventure, he also is very, very intuitive. You're going to need to come up here and not be playing around back there. He likes to nibble. He's only a year old. Aww. Just a baby.
Aww.
He's like a puppy. He's a little stinker. What? Uh-oh. You going to do your hee-haw? You going to do your hee-haw? Come on. Sorry.
It's okay. He's adorable.
Like the entertainment of the animals today. But he's also very psychic. And a lot of times when you have animals that have strong Scorpio in their chart, they will see spiritual things. They will see spirits. They will have different situations where sometimes they act really strange. And it's not to be afraid of that, but a lot of people will testify that my cat was meowing really strange in that direction. I call them little ghost catchers. I think the animals will let you know when these spiritual activities changed in a room. Especially, again, you've got Moon in Scorpio and Mercury in Scorpio with these cats. So just another thing, which I think, again, is another fated reason why they're with you, because it helps bring out that spiritual side in you as well.
Yeah. So. And Bert does something really interesting. Every once in a while, he'll just get up and sit in front of the door, and he'll start clicking. You know how sometimes when cats see like a fly or something, then he'll just be clicking at the door. It's so strange.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Those are all really important signs to really look for. The other thing to realize is that these animals are being born during a Neptune and Pisces transit. So when that happens, the veil is very thin, even between human and animal communication, meaning we have more awareness of animals. And if you notice right now, all through Facebook, all through social media, how many videos do we see like every day of amazing animal stories, amazing animal things that are happening where animals are revealing the side of them that we've never seen before?
All the time.
Yeah, I saw like this whale coming down that had wire wrapped around it, descending down to the bottom of this ocean where there was some scuba divers waiting to help it. And this was like out in the wild, the wild ocean, you know. And how did that whale know that they were going to help them? But I believe animals are also reading our intentions better. They're being born during these very, you know, Neptune and Pisces opens up communication between animals and people. And those of us who love animals, we're seeing things more and more that we've never seen before. We're becoming more aware. So it's a beautiful time in history that we can really, you know, connect with these animals. Can actually be healers, and they are. They're coming out everywhere as healers. So I think that's
so cool.
It is cool.
She's getting a little less camera shy.
Is she coming out yet?
Yes, here she is.
Let me see. Let me see.
Say hi.
There she is. There she is. Let me see. Hi, Misha. I'm not going to talk so the screen comes up. There you are. Oh, look.
She really has the most intense eyes. I feel like her eyes are like a human's eyes. Like she just has that very peering look.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if we just got cut off there, Matt. She will also tell you if there's somebody that comes over and she's giving them that eye or not comfortable. That's another thing, you know, to look for, because they will let you know if something's not right. Sometimes you have to discern that for yourself, but they will give you little signs, you know?
Yes.
Or the opposite. If somebody comes over and she really feels comfortable and comes out, then she's, you know, she's kind of like your little protector there.
She really is. We have some friends that'll come over and she's really, really skittish. And, you know, someone comes over for the first time, she'll usually hide upstairs. But I have a select few friends who will come over and she's just like, oh, hey, what's going on? And she'll hang out and not have any issues.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, a lot of times we see behavior as something that's bad or a problem, but it's an animal's way trying to navigate in our world, because they don't operate off of ego. They operate off of feel. So they see it for what it is. And they don't have the ability like we do to put on a fake face or pretend we like someone, or, you know, whatever we have to do in society to function. They see it for what it is. And that's the beauty on the other side, is they see us, they don't judge us either. Once they feel that trust with us, we do have that unconditional connection with them. And I think that's what, you know, there's something about having that in our lives that I think is really important, that we have a place that we can go and completely be ourselves. whether it's our cats or dogs or horses, even having a goldfish. For those of you out there who say, I don't like animals, even get a goldfish because it brings positive energy into the home. You know, it brings positive energy into the home. No matter how stressed I am, I come out here with him or my animals and it changes everything. So
I completely agree with you on that. When my husband and I first moved in together, we didn't have any animals. And it was the first time in my life I've ever lived in a house that didn't have animals. And I didn't like it at all. It was really strange for me. It was kind of upsetting. Like I just needed to have some sort of furry friend around me.
right.
So he surprised me with Misha. That was nice.
Yes, that's a good guy. That's a good guy. And I'm telling you, that connection with her, she's a really special kitty. She's a very,
She is.
yes, definitely. You know what? You are just being such a pest. You should see him. He's going around that side. He's trying to get into the computer. He can't figure out where the voice is coming from.
Oh my gosh, that's adorable.
I know. He is so funny. But one thing I wanted, he's so cute. No, he actually is a little old soul. He was born with Venus and Mars in Aquarius. So, I mean, he picks up on all the vibrations of the ranch. If anybody drives in, he's like a rooster or a dog barking. He does his braying. And, you know, when I wake up in the morning, he's like, out here, he wakes us up. And he just watches over the ranch. Yeah, they're really cool. They're really, really cool. They're feisty little things, but you can put them out with goats or alpacas or sheep, and they will actually, make sure they will take the herd on like it's their own and protect it. And they'll kill a coyote in 2 seconds, so they're really good for a lot of things. But, he's at the, he's like a little juvenile right now. So he's a little booger. So, but I wanted to tell you, you said you were working with the Humane Society, and I was looking at your chart, and I got like a real excitement for you. And I know you have a lot of different things that you do and will do, but you are born with such a connection to cats because of that moon in Scorpio. Like I said, you understand them. And with your North Node in Aquarius, you'll be moving more and more in that direction. And that really gives you that humanitarian side that I see you growing into as you continue. However you use that. And with all that Capricorn, I mean, you're the kind of person that could build a complete sanctuary for cats or do something like that in your future. It may not be the direction you want to go, but in your chart, it's all there. It's all there, of that kind of heart. So I think with animals, when you're working with these cats and you're socializing them, you kind of have to be tricky, but some kittens will come in and you will be able to get a date they were born. You will be able to get information about them. If you can go home and look at their charts and experiment with, okay, what am I seeing here? Do I see that coming out in this animal? And helping match people coming in. We aren't able to always look at their birthdays, but if you can kind of get the feel, what kind of person is that animal going to do well? Like with Misha, she's going to do well more with quiet, where she can find sanctuary, and where other cats are going to want a lot of people around them. You can start to play with this idea, and it makes you all the more able to help match and to help socialize, because you'll understand how to socialize. Just like with Misha, you don't want to come in there and overwhelm her, with all your energy. She's a cat. You have to get really quiet inside for her to come out. She wants your energy. So it's learning how to read these energies in animals, and it starts getting really fun when you are able to read their chart. So I don't know. I just thought I'd give you that little tip.
Well, thank you. That's definitely what I want to do in my life.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes, most absolutely.
Wow. Wow. Well, I didn't know that. And I just said that and I seen that. And, I'd love to be of any help to you in that. A lot of my work with animals, like I said, I've been working on this research for a while. I have a lot of case studies, especially with the service dogs, and actually finally getting enough feedback to prove my theories are holding true. And with the service dogs, I'm able to even get time of birth. You can go deeper into this because time of birth, where the ascendant is when they're born, has a lot to do with, what I have some dogs that do, super well working in hospitals, and then I have other dogs that don't. I have dogs that you can take to Disneyland and they can handle the crowds, and I have other dogs you can't. So when people are matching somebody that actually needs a service dog, these become really awesome factors. Right now, astrology and animals is so new. And, also having the years of experience of behavior with animals helps me actually put this together in a full package. And I hope that people become more open to it because it can save, years and years of training in fact, not that their training won't be there, but you'll be able to know the moment that dog or that cat's born, the direction and the talents and the gifts they have, and then you can customize your training to bring that out in them.
Yes.
So, I'm hoping to bring this to the world, and I'm hoping for it to help those, in the service dog industry more and more. So I don't know. I think it's kind of cool stuff.
That's just so amazing. I love that. When I was in middle school, my middle school had a guide dog training program, and it was just so cool. And just to think of them incorporating astrology into it, like that would be so amazing.
Well, one of the things is that one of the most difficult matches to make is a dog that can read seizures. A lot of dogs can't read seizures before they happen. They're only like alert dogs after the seizure. So for a person who has epilepsy or has seizures, if they want to go to a restaurant or they want to go out, it's really hard for them because they don't want to have the seizure right in the middle of the parking lot. It's, really traumatizing. But with these very, very specific dogs, these dogs are able to warn them about 45 minutes, like, hey, you better sit down because I'm picking up on one of these seizures. And the problem is the service dog industry, they really can't predict if a dog has this gift because they've got to test it enough times, and, it's hard to even test it. A lot of times it's trial and error. And then what happens is that person ends up going through a lot of dogs, and that's hard on them too. But what I found is dogs that have the moon in Pisces, dogs that have strong Pisces placements, have this gift. So if we could look at the birth chart, and go, all right, this litter is going to be a perfect litter to see if they're going to go in that, go that way for people with epilepsy. Now we have much more of a chance to help them. So that's what I'm bringing to this.
That is so awesome. Amazing.
Oh my goodness, you're being such a booger. Well, I have one last thing I want to share. A little, if I can, if it'll let me here. A little, let's see if I can do this here. A little experiment that I'm working on. I have a little something that I think you're going to like. Oh, you better move.
Oh.
Computer over.
Oh my gosh. So cute.
This is Sparkles. My son named her Sparkles. So I wanted to name her Eclipse because she was born on April 4th on the lunar eclipse. And this is this is his kitty. So he loves this kitty. All right, you're going to have to be patient. Hold on. Let me talk to him a minute. Hey. You see how he loves this kitty? He's going crazy for it.
That's
So
adorable.
anyway, I didn't know. We have a lot of little feral cats here on my ranch, and the mama didn't come back. And I knew that she had these kitties that night, and I was curious to find out what would kitties be like born on that beautiful lunar eclipse that we had. And this is the first one, and on the full moon on June 2nd, she popped out of this little trailer, meowing. We went and picked her up, and she's been in my arms ever since. Here she is.
Oh,
Isn't she cute?
so adorable. Oh my gosh, that face and her eyes.
So she's a little Aries, and already she gets out of everything. Now, she's got Venus and Mars in Taurus, so it's so funny because she tries to get out of everything, and the other day she got out, and she pushed her head through this little spot. She didn't care. She pushed that head through, and then when she got on the top, she's just sitting up there primping herself. I said, that sounds like Aries Taurus energy to me.
Oh yeah.
Gosh, you were being such a pest. All right. Well, this is just a little bit about animals and astrology. And thank you so much, Sarah, for coming on and talking. And thank you, Einstein. Thank you. We appreciate all your help here. We didn't want you to steal the show. So I'm a little jealous that I'm not talking to him exclusively right now, I'm thinking.
Well, thank you very much for having me and Bert and Misha.
You're very welcome. And I want to continue to hear about what you're doing with animals. And if you get any interesting cases, or, you know, make your own little journal about it while you're working with animals, because it's a fascinating study. It will speak to you. And for those of you out there who have animals and you want to go check out their charts, just to get a general idea and see if you can start bringing that connection together. If you need any help or you're having behavioral issues, that is what I do. You can book a reading with me at cowgirlastrologer.com. Other than that, thank you. Thank you again.
Well, thank you.
All righty. Well, we will talk again soon. And if you guys have any questions for either Sarah or I, then please leave in the comments below. All right. Bye, guys.